It's time for a new evolution in raising golfers, one that doesn't involve headaches, tears, or heading down the path of unknown. Whether you're trying to introduce children to the game of golf, help them play competitively, or play at a collegiate level, you're in the right place. This show is for any parent, player, or coach who wants to build a better team at home and on the golf course. This is the Raising Golfers Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Raising Golfers Podcast. I'm your host, Travis Hauser, PGA professional here in Carlsbad, California. Yesterday was our final PGA Junior League match for our summer session here at Rancho Carlsbad. It was awesome, so much fun, really close competition, and even better so, I think the most important thing that I saw throughout the season was just the camaraderie, the teamwork, and the excellent sportsmanship between both teams that we had in our internal league. And it was just so fun to see. And, you know, golf is one of those sports where most of the time we play, it's an individual sport. So giving children the opportunity to be able to play the sport they love playing, but now in a team aspect and team environment, couldn't ask for a better environment for them to be in. And just so many positive vibes. It was cool. We had a great pizza party afterwards. It was fun for everyone, including the families. And we can't wait to have our next PGA Junior League at Rancho Carlsbad Golf Course. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about words of encouragement, and, you know, it's something I'm constantly working on. I think, you know, the words that we say to the junior golfers is so important. And it's one of those things that I think you're not going to perfect, but continuously reflect on and work on as an adult talking to junior golfers. So what I would like to do is go into a couple of things that I like to say and I like to talk to with my junior golfers and encourage them. And I think it's the most important thing, especially as they are just getting into the sport and even in those tough times when they're really competitive as well. So just, you know, some of these are going to sound really basic and really easy. But I think what we have to do is ask ourselves is, are these the words that we are using? And if they are, great. And then on top of that, are there other words that we are using that we maybe should try to avoid saying? So we're going to go over a couple of the avoid words that I've been working on myself. I'm not perfect, but I have been working on. And then also the words of encouragement. So first one out the gate, you're doing awesome. And saying it and meaning it is so important. Next one, nice try. Even after they hit a bad shot, no problem. Even if they missed a putt, nice try. You can see that they're trying their hardest out there, right? And it's not like they're purposely missing putts or topping shots or hitting shots into the water, right? They are trying hard. And this is golf. It's not an easy sport. That golf ball goes in places and sometimes seems to have a mind of its own. The next one I like to say a lot is great swing. And the reason why is that even in my private lessons with adults, I like to encourage the thing or the task that you're working on. And the outcome sometimes doesn't always show, you know, the result of the golf swing itself. And so I like to encourage children by letting them know that, hey, you know what, you made a good swing. I know it's the swing you were trying to make. It's not the outcome that you want. This is what I'm thinking in my head, but let's just keep it short and just say, hey, great swing. Nice shot. Another one. Just, they love hearing this. You know, the first thing they do after they hit a good or a bad shot is they look back at the adults that's connected with them, whether it's their parents, their coaches. You know, they're looking for a reaction. Best thing you can do, keep a smile on your face, encourage, thumbs up, positive body language, and, you know, these short words of encouragement I think are very important. Another one I like, and I'll say this mid-round, especially after I see it. And when I notice that a junior golfer goes above and beyond with their sportsmanship, I really go over, I give them a pat on the back, and I just tell them that, and I'll explain that, how good it was to see their sportsmanship. And I'll say, hey, you know, I love your sportsmanship. You are really showing some great examples out here on the golf course for everyone. Keep up the good work. And our golf academy, I'm very proud of our golf academy and our students. Sportsmanship is one of those things that we talk a lot about, even in our practices. But seeing the junior golfers, even just yesterday in the PGA Junior League, I saw opposing teams high-fiving with each other, using good sportsmanship, encouraging them after they hit great shots. I mean, how cool is that? And then just before that, you go out on to play golf, you know, tell children, you know, give it your best effort, right? I mean, we want to see them try. They should be trying, especially if they want to be there. And, you know, just let them know that, just give it your best effort and just keep it at that. We're not saying go out there and win the tournament. Or if you are, maybe we shouldn't. It puts a lot of pressure on the junior golfers. We're not saying go out there and score the best. And again, that kind of is putting a lot of pressure on the junior golfers. We're saying, hey, just give your best effort. I can tell you personally for myself, when I go out and play golf, I'm giving my best effort. And if you look at my scorecard, they're different. The scores are different every time. They really are. I'm giving my best effort, but the scores are different. And for junior golfers, it's the same. And so, I think we have to be very, very, very careful when scores come in. They're not what we want, although the junior golfer gave it their best effort. And if we scold them for those kinds of things, I think it could be very discouraging for the junior golfers. So we want to make sure that we're encouraging those things: hard work, effort, sportsmanship, positive attitude. Those things I think are really, really encouraging for the junior golfers. I know it can be tough sometimes, but it is things that they can control. And the last thing would just be, great job with the ... fill in the blank, and being very specific about something that they did a good job with. And I think that then they will then understand what it was that they were doing. Because sometimes I think junior golfers and children, they do things and don't realize, how important those things are, whether they're good or negative. And so I think if we can highlight specific situations for them saying good job with something, I think it'll really go a long ways for the development. And now let's hear a message from our show sponsor. Hey guys, this last spring I teamed up with Operation 36 here at our facility in Carlsbad, California, and it has completely changed my way of coaching and service to my customers. Operation 36 is a developmental golf program designed to take beginners from playing their first round to being able to shoot par or better for 9 holes. So here's how it works. Participants attend weekly 1-hour classes and work through a 6-level curriculum. They then play in 9-hole events once or twice a month with a common goal to shoot 36 or better from different distances. And using the Operation 36 app, coaches can plan programs, communicate with families, and track students' progress. It's really, really cool. If you're a parent listening, search for a program near you on their website at operation36.golf/juniors. And coaches, if you'd like to start a program at your facility, go to the same website, operation36.golf/coaches. Now, junior golfers, in our golf classes, many times we have a word of the day or we'll have a phrase of the day, and I use a lot of motivational quotes. And I'm just going to read a couple here because I think these things can help junior golfers understand the difficulties of golf itself and the ups and downs that they're going to go through. So the first one's from Albert Einstein, and he said, "In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity." And if we can train our children to understand that mistakes are okay, that they are going to have some failures, and what they need to be doing to take away from those, I think the sooner we do that, I think the better it will be for them developmentally for the long haul of their lives, both in golf and just in life generally. The next one's from Theodore Roosevelt, and he said, "Believe you can, and you're halfway there." And for golf, this is so true. I mean, if you believe that you can hit the shot that is in front of you, there's a very, very good chance you're going to be committed to the swing. There's a very, very good chance that you will be able to execute the shot. And there's a very good chance that you will be able to perform closer to your expectations. If you don't believe that you can do it, there's a very good chance that you won't be able to do it. And I'm going to jump into a situation or a conversation we had with Dr. Matt Park. He was on an episode back in January of this year. And what he said was that, the mind is trained to think about the last thing that is in its head. So even if you put the word "don't" in front of something, the mind is still thinking on that thing. So he gave this example and he said, what if I say, "Don't think about a blue elephant right now"? And as soon as he said it, all I'm thinking about is this blue elephant, right? So imagine if you tell a junior golfer, "Don't hit it to the right. There's water over there. Don't be short." All these things, it's not going to lead to positive outcomes. So we have to be very, very delicate about that. And I believe if you go back to that quote from Theodore Roosevelt, "Believe you can, and you're halfway there." Well, hey, you know what? If your self-talk is positive and you're thinking about the positive things that you need to execute, you're halfway there. There's a good chance you're going to do it, regardless of what your technique looks like. And the last motivational quote here is, this is a good one, I think, that we have to say to children many times, and as adults we have to think about this as well, is the quote is, "This is what you are going through, not who you are." And I remember speaking with the ladies from Vision 54, and they said you have to separate the person from the problem, or separate them from the situation and who they are. And I think it's a very important thing to remind junior golfers of as well. And I think it's just so positive, encouraging for all of us to understand these little words of encouragement or phrases that we can say. Now I'm going to jump now into things to avoid, and this is a very short list, but it's also, I find, sometimes the most difficult. So words to avoid, I think telling a junior golfer to focus, there's not really much good behind this. I mean, I believe that they are trying to focus on the situation. Now, sometimes if their effort is not there, then I think this is something that we need to speak to before the situation arises. But telling them to focus, I think, is, again, it just kind of adds a little bit of tension and pressure on. The big one for me is the word don't. I just don't like using, see, I just said it there. I don't like using the word don't. And, excuse me. And I think it's, if you can catch yourself and start to train yourself to try to use positive words instead of the negative ones. So don't, can't, won't. I think it'll go a long ways. And I think what we have to understand is that, if junior golfers are going through a difficult time, on the round or after a round, really what we should be doing is we should ask them if they would like to talk about the situation right then and there. But what I found is many times that they would just say they don't want to talk about it. So I think it's a great time for us to give them their space and their time. But I think we should ask them instead of just going and jumping in and talking to them as soon as they're upset about a scenario. And you could just say, "Hey, buddy, you want to chat right now?" And they might just shake their head and say no. Okay, just let them have their space. And then what I'd say is maybe try it again the next day and ask the same questions. Just say, "Hey, it would now be a good time to chat about the last round yesterday." And there's a good chance that their emotions have come down and that they'll be much more willing to discuss the situation with them then. And then in that moment, I think what we have to do first and foremost is we just need to ask a lot of questions to understand where they're coming from and follow up with a lot of words of encouragement. And I think, again, words of encouragement is just so vital for junior golfers, and it's so vital for children just generally with their development. So the better that we can get at using positive words of encouragement, avoiding certain words that can create no solutions and lead to other problems long term, I think will also be beneficial. So whether you're a junior golfer who listened to this episode or an adult working with junior golfers, I hope that this was beneficial for you and gives you some time to go back, reflect on the things that you say, and make us all a better team for the junior golfers. Thanks so much for tuning in, and look forward to having you here next week on the podcast.